There are 3 different classes of animals. Can you explain the differences between the classes?
There are 3 classes of animals based on how dangerous they can be to people. Each of the different classes requires a special permit, substantial experience, and very specific enclosure restrictions. Each state has different regulations for both permits and the insurance that is required with Class 1 and Class 2 animals. Class 1 animals are the ones that pose a significant danger to people, such as bears, chimpanzees, tigers, crocodiles, etc. And then Class 2 animals can also become a danger to people as well. Some of these animals include binturongs, bobcats, honey badgers, and lemurs. And then Class 3 animals are the least dangerous exotic animals, but they also still require a permit, such as skunks and kinkajous, etc.
How would one go about capturing an animal of the 3 classes that you mentioned?
It is actually illegal to take exotic animals out of the wild unless they're being rehabilitated and re-released. Rescue centers will take in animals that cannot be released due to injuries, such as Winter the dolphin in Clearwater, whose tail had to be amputated. Under no other circumstances should you ever attempt to capture a wild animal. When working around the dolphin tank, make guests aware that they cannot wiggle their fingers in front of the dolphin.
If an animal were to get loose from its habitat, how would you handle that situation?
If a smaller animal were to get loose, we would use a net to catch them. If a larger animal, such as a large cat or a tiger, were to get loose, multiple trainers would corral them into their enclosure.
When around the sea lion exhibit, guests do have the option to purchase food to feed them. Make sure guests are not trying to throw in food that is not of the type provided. Be sure guests are aware of the wild birds that like to hang around this exhibit because they can get aggressive and potentially bite a guest. How do you go about transporting the animals to different events?
For short trips, the animals are trained to crate. For long-distance shows that require a plane ride, animals are again trained to crate, and each crate is covered with a special wrap. For both short and long trips, each animal is provided with a water and food dish, blankets, and/or padding to fit their needs. Each individual crate has a lock to prevent the animal from getting loose. For those animals that tend to chew, we provide metal crates to prevent them from chewing through the plastic ones that are provided to other animals. Make sure parents are not letting their children sit near or on the edge of the tank. Food and beverage items must be kept away from open areas because dolphins could potentially knock it out of a guest's hand. Trainers scuba dive daily with the dolphins, and this is done to help train the dolphins to ignore humans in their habitat should a guest accidentally fall into the tank. There is also the unpredictability of these curious and mischievous animals, so we do have trainers on standby ready to dive in if this were to happen.
Animals have been known to sense how a human is feeling. Can you give me an example?
When dealing hands-on with tigers or large cats, one key factor is to not act afraid because they can sense it. So if a cat comes towards you, the worst thing you can do is take a step back because they take that as a prey response. If you take a step forward instead, it shows that they do not intimidate you and they are more likely to back off, since big cats do not like to fight for their food.